Welcome to Behind the Scenes at the Hanover Theatre. Now, here's your host, Lisa Condit.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm so happy to be here today with Adam Kaplan, and Adam is currently starring in the first national tour of Kinky Boots as Charlie Price. So welcome to the program, Adam. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thanks, Lisa.
Well, I saw Kinky Boots for the first time in New York, and so I love the story, I love the characters, and I love your character as well. When was the first time you became familiar with Kinky Boots?
I saw Kinky Boots, I believe the first time was maybe a few months after it, or a few weeks after it opened. It was in previews, and I went with a friend of mine, and I just remember sitting there smiling and beaming and just being like, God, this is the most fun I've had at the theater in a long time. Cyndi Lauper and Harvey Fierstein both call it the happy factory and the happy pill. And it's true. I just remember sitting there and thoroughly enjoying myself.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? The music by Cyndi Lauper is so fun, and you just really can't help but feel good as you're sitting in the audience, and it's a great story. I think some people might have a little bit of hesitation. You know, we are in New England. They're like, Kinky Boots? What's Kinky Boots about? How would you describe it to your friends and family who haven't seen it before?
Totally, yeah. No, I think you're right. I think sometimes people hear the word, kinky in the title, and it has this strange connotation. But there's nothing debaucherous or raunchy about the show. Essentially, the way I describe it, it's Charlie Price inherits a shoe factory from his father. It's based on a true story. It takes place in Northampton, England, and he inherits this shoe factory that he wants nothing to do with. His father passes away, and he's forced to save a dying shoe factory. And along the way, he encounters Lola, who's this fabulous drag queen, and together they start making Kinky Boots. It's got huge heart, like you said, music by Cyndi Lauper. You know, when Cyndi wrote the show, what was so fabulous is that she wanted to infuse it with current, pop sounds, not just her own sound. I mean, you'll definitely hear songs, and you'll be like, oh, that's a Cyndi Lauper song. But, we've got a song a la Mumford & Sons and Weezer, and so it's got a really contemporary, current sound in the vein of music theater. And it's a feel-good show. I think it's pertinent to a lot of what's going on in the world. That's my pitch to my family and friends. How about that?
That was really good. And I have to say, it is really pertinent. Maybe it takes place in the UK, but you know what? It could be taking place in Detroit or Cleveland or Boston or almost any place. And I love the sense of humor that all of the characters have. You do laugh because it is funny, but everybody is also really sensitive to just each other, and it deals with some heavy issues. I mean, it's very serious to have a family business. You're inheriting it, and how do you save it? And I think that resonates with a lot of people, especially now, especially in this economy. But you could say the same thing about 100 years ago.
Totally. And both of the main characters in our show deal with, father-son relationships and issues with figuring out who they are and self-acceptance. And so I think that people can find a way to relate to Kinky Boots in so many different ways. We preach in the show, you change the world when you change your mind, and I think that that's so incredibly pertinent to what's going on today with the political climate. And so it's been amazing to travel around the country and spread that message of love and acceptance.
Oh, it is. It's a great message, and it is a great story. One of the reasons that we chose this show as our Adopt-a-School program in partnership with South High is because we know that these themes are so relevant to everybody. And we have had such a great experience working with South High in the past, and we're looking forward to the students coming to this performance. If you come to the show, and by the way, Kinky Boots is coming to the Hanover Theatre November 30th through December 4th. We have evening and matinee performances. People are going to be so excited to see artwork and papers and projects, because I don't know if you've heard about the Adopt-a-School program, Adam, but what happens is our education department works with the administration and teachers and the students at South High throughout all of their curriculum, and so students have lesson plans over, it's a very intensive program, over several weeks where their lessons revolve around the themes of this show. And so it really is great for the students to absorb, the story, the themes, and then see it live. And many of them have not been to the theater before, and this is one of their first opportunities to do so. When was the first time you went to go see a show at the theater?
I think the first time that I remember, my dad took me to see West Side Story when I was like 6 or 7 at our local high school, and I was immediately hooked. And I think that my parents for a while were like, "Uh-oh, what have we done?" Because that's I slept and breathed and lived theater for so many years in high school, and obviously now it's my career. But I just remember sitting in the audience and saying, I want to be up there, and I want to be doing that. So we love when we can be a part of someone's first theatrical experience, and I love hearing that those programs are involved in coming to see our show.
Oh, absolutely. And it's interesting, too, because especially with what's going on right now in the world, our CEO and president recently was talking about, theater has this amazing role in our society, and sometimes people think, the arts, it's not that important. Of course, you and I, we know it's important, but it's important for people to see and experience something that they might not necessarily have any knowledge about, to open the discussion, open the dialogue so that we can understand each other a little bit better. And so,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And so on that note, is there a particular scene or a particular song that really resonates with you that you love about this show that you want people to look for?
It's hard to, I'd say, to pinpoint one. I think that, some of my character's biggest moments in the show come in his scenes and songs with Lola, who's this drag queen that inspires him. But I think that, Charlie goes through the show for the most part and thinking, that he understands Lola on a surface level, but the moments when the two of them actually connect and really talk about their own lives, I always found to be so powerful when I was watching as an audience member. The song "Not My Father's Son" is when they both kind of connect and really appreciate each other for who they are on a much deeper level. And this song is kind of, I can't not watch it and not get choked up when I'm watching Jay sing it every night. He's an amazing, amazing talent. And then, at the end of Act 1, it's just a celebration on stage. It's a number called Everybody Say Yeah, and I think that it's a perfect way to end the act. And we've got music theater royalty on our team with Harvey Fierstein and Jerry Mitchell as our director choreographer, and so it's truly a party on stage, and I think the audience feels that too.
It is a party. I love the choreography. I love the bright colors. I love the characters. I love the set. There are a lot of really clever things that happen on the set with the manufacturing of the shoes and the boots that are fun to watch. Yeah. And so tell me about how much practice and rehearsal time did you all spend together as a cast before you went out on the road?
So I joined about a year into the tour. It had been open for about a year, and so I only had about 3 weeks to learn the entire show, and before I was slipped in.
Wow.
Yeah, once you see the show, it was a pretty stressful 3 weeks. But when the show was first going on the road, they spent I think a month or two in the studio working together, and at that point they had kind of already figured out the model for Kinky Boots since it had been on Broadway, and they knew what worked and what didn't work and the blocking. So I think it was a bit of a smoother transition. But what some people always ask us that listeners might find interesting is they always ask, do you have a rehearsal in each city that you go to, because it's a different theater, it's a different space. We get to the theater each Monday and at the start of every week or every Tuesday, and we just do a quick sound check, and then that's it.
You're ready to rock and roll.
And we're ready to rock and roll. At this point, it's a well-oiled machine, and they've got it all figured out, which is an amazing thing to be a part of.
It is amazing, and it's amazing to me watching the tours come in and roll back out, how quickly, the production is able to move in, get set up, hit the floor, hit the ground running, and then out it goes within, really 4 or 5 days. I know that can sometimes be a grueling schedule, but I've also noticed that, especially with shows like this, that cast tends to really gel as more of a family unit. Have you found that to be true as well?
Absolutely. I mean, I think by nature, the theater community and artists, we're so lovey-dovey and it's such close people. But I also think that, the being on the road and having that model of, we go to a different city, and yes, we may know some, have a distant cousin in one city or have some family friends in another, but really we're all we've got on the road, and so we're a unit, we're a team, and we see each other every day. We're work friends and friends obviously outside of work, so it's a very unique group, and like you said, we gel really nicely.
Well, I cannot wait to see you and to see the rest of the cast in Kinky Boots at the Hanover Theatre. Again, that's going to be November 30th through December 4th. Everybody can get more information. They can preview the show. We have a video up on our website, thehanovertheatre.org. Tickets are available. And everybody, I highly recommend that you go out and you get these tickets. Maybe subscribe so you can see all of the shows, but we are going to have a great time, and it's the perfect beginning to get us in the right mood for the holidays. It's right after Thanksgiving. So thank you so much, Adam, for taking the time to talk with us today, and good luck with the rest of your travels until we see you on our stage.
Thanks so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you all soon.
Okay, terrific. And everybody else, stay tuned. We'll be back after this quick break here on Behind the Scenes at the Hanover Theatre on WCRN AM 830.